Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Nicole Masson and I am so excited to be partnering with The Good and the Beautiful to show you guys an inside look into their new history. Y'all heard that right. Today launches their brand new history curriculum and I am so excited to take you guys through. We actually did a lesson today and I just give you guys my feedback, truly. Now, before I get started in today's video, I'd love to have you guys stick around. I try my best to post homeschooling tips and just, experiences along with curriculum reviews, but I also sometimes breadcrumb in some of our family life. I had twins in May, which they're almost a year old. Crazy, in 2 months they'll be a year. And I also have a 9-year-old and a 4-year-old, and so I love to just share motherhood, homemaking, and then homeschooling. So if any of that intrigues you, I'd love to have you guys stick around and let's dive in. So like many of you guys, I have anxiously awaited this curriculum to be released. I know when starting history with my daughter, I was really trying to find something like The Good and the Beautiful because if you're familiar, The Good and the Beautiful had a history curriculum, but they did a lot of revamping and just upgrades and all the things, and so it was in like production, so there wasn't a Good and the Beautiful history. And so in the meantime, we had found another curriculum to use, and like I said, I love The Good and the Beautiful for the open and go style lessons. So if you're like me and you're just in a very busy season of your life, or maybe you're not a planner, or just a lot of preparation makes you hesitant, this is just like all of their other curriculums. So it's open and go and it's family style. So I love that. Like I mentioned, I have a 4-year-old son and a 9-year-old daughter who's in 3rd grade. And so he likes to join in on a lot of our lessons. This is for grades 3 through 8, but they do have an activity book for younger grades, I think K through 2nd. So it goes with this. So I'm definitely eager to have him join in. But I'm gonna basically just take you guys through all of the details. We did do our first lesson today, and I was trying really hard to figure out, should we wait until the fall? For those that have been around here for a bit, we do year-round school. So that picking something up mid-year is kind of like daunting, but I was so excited that I didn't want to wait. So this curriculum is laid out with 60 lessons. So for a whole school year, if you do 2 lessons per week, you can complete it. So I was like, this is a no-brainer. We could start now and be done fairly quick. So we're gonna take it through the summer into fall. But we did our first lesson today and my daughter really enjoyed it, and I did too. And I'm not a history person, I'll just disclaim that there. So I loved how easy it was for me to walk her through everything. Okay, so starting with the course book, I was so excited browsing through this because, like I said, not being like a history buff, this is just one area that's not like one of my strong suits. So to see how well they laid it out, making it effortless for me as the instructor, was awesome. So just to take you guys through the units, Unit 1 is Ancient History, Unit 2 is the Middle Ages and the Renaissance, Unit 3 is the French and Indian War through the Revolutionary War, and then Unit 4 is the Victorian era, the history of flight and the Cold War. So like I said, 60 lessons there. Each lesson at the very beginning tells you what supplies are needed. So for today's lesson, we didn't need any supplies, and it started with creation. So this was the course introduction and creation. It takes you through your items needed, which we just needed the maps and images book, which I'll show y'all, history timeline book, which I still have to order. I will pop up an image of that so you guys know what you're looking for. And then the Good and the Beautiful homeschool app. So I love this. I love this because, like I said, when we were looking for a history for our daughter, there's a lot of secular history out there. I love this because it's a non-denominational Christian viewpoint. And so, you know, for me being a public schooler, like I didn't get that experience in school. So I'm just excited that they have that. And I know I get asked that, you know, I've been asked that in previous videos. It is more of just that Christian viewpoint. There's not necessarily like I said, it's non-denominational. So God created the world and all people. Each individual is precious in his sight and is deserving of liberty. He lived a sinless life, and it says, following the timeless core principles of Christ's gospel found in the Bible leads to happiness. So that's that Christian worldview that they take you through. Items needed for the course, you're going to get this history course book, which I'm reading from, the big book of history stories year 1, the student explorer. So if you have a child in grades 3 through 6, that's a separate one, and then grades 7 through 8 is the student explorer for the older children. And then for grades 7 through 8, they actually have an extension to lessons. And I noticed that as I was looking through this course book, there's like an extension section. So if you have a child that maybe, you know, could comprehend more, or you just want to take that a step further for your older students, then that's available. They have the maps and images book, which was amazing. We took a look at that today. The history timeline book, which I do need to purchase. And then they also have these review cards, the time tunnel review cards. So this is really cute. And then there's an answer key PDF available. Okay, and so quite like, you know, many of their curriculum, they have videos, they have the big book of history stories. So like their science for little hearts and hands, they have that big, the big book of science. This is the big book of history stories. Beautiful images. That's one thing that I love, is the just bright, beautiful colors. So I will take you guys through a little flip through here at the end. So like I mentioned in the introduction, for this course being 60 lessons, it would take you 2 lessons per week to complete this in a school year. And then it says that each lesson takes 20 to 30 minutes to complete, which is very spot on. We took maybe 20 minutes today to go through lesson 1. And like I said, that was even with stopping and having discussions. So 20 to 30 minutes to complete. And then this is not a self-study course. So there's a lot of interactive parts where you're reading to your child and you're pausing for them to answer. So this is more of like a hands-on sort of learning style, family style. If you have multiple children, you know, that you're teaching, this could be a very interactive family style lesson for your children. Also, much like other courses that the Good and the Beautiful have, they have their supply list. So very minimal supplies, but that just gives you that opportunity before you get to, you know, sit down with your children to make sure you have everything you need for that day's lesson. But other than that, it is very open and go style. They make it very effortless for us to sit down and just be able to be attentive in so many other areas, because you're not stuck prepping. I know myself, before starting the Good and the Beautiful, I was so burnt out with preparing lessons, and I felt like it took the enjoyment out of actually doing the lessons. So if that sounds like you, or you resonate with that, then and you haven't checked out the Good and the Beautiful, then this is definitely something to consider. I love that you know, it's open and go, and it really does take your portion of planning out of it, because they do so much for us. So that's really awesome, and it's definitely a blessing that you know, they do that for us parents. Now, if you're familiar with the Good and the Beautiful, their homeschool app, they actually have a audio section. So if you're, you know, preferring to do the audio versions of these history stories, then you can actually log into your homeschool app for the Good and the Beautiful, and there's a 3-digit code in here, and you just type that in, and then you can listen to the recording. So that's really nice if you don't, you know, maybe have the time, or your child responds better to listening to audiobooks, then that's an option there. Another thing I noticed when browsing through this course book was they have a hard and true facts. It's hard and true facts section that actually like talks about more sensitive or controversial, just different topics like that. Maybe even, you know, like those sensitive topics that maybe are more for your older children, maybe grades 7 through 8, or depending on how comfortable you are after reading that, you know, you could potentially teach that to your younger children too. But I like that they separate more of that sensitive or just, you know, potentially disturbing content for the older children, and that kind of just gives you that prompting in the course book, like, hey, if you want to skip this, you can, you know. So the hard and true facts section. So I thought it'd be kind of helpful to take you guys maybe through just one lesson to show you what it would look like if you were to purchase this history, and you know, more of what to expect. Okay, so we're gonna just look through lesson 4, because that's just the one I randomly picked. So Mesopotamia and Abraham. So your lesson prep is here. You have your punch out cards, which you would get from your maps and images book, and then these are your items needed. So your maps and images book, history timeline books, which is optional. That's that add-on sticker book that I still need to purchase, and then your Bible. So right here, you just show the child this in the maps and images book. So that's this book here. So I'm going to take you guys in to lesson 4. So they will be reviewing this image while you're reading here. So you'll read through that, and then once you get through here, okay, so while they're reviewing that image, you will be reading all of this, and then they will look at this next image. So it's hard to show, I'm sorry, the different images that they'll be looking at as you're reading out loud to them. And then once you get through that, you have your maps and images activity. So those are those cards that I said at the beginning you'd punch out. And then there's that Let's Connect section. So I really enjoyed this Let's Connect section with my daughter as we did a lesson today. Like I said, it just really opened up that opportunity for discussion to really go over what you just read, along with hearing their thoughts and opinion. And then they will have their Student Explorer activity. So they have that, another test of faith, and then more reading. And then if you want to take the lesson further and have an extension for your older children. So I just like that it really zeroes in on such a large age group, especially if you are homeschooling multiple children. It gives you that opportunity to have that family style learning, so you're not teaching multiple courses at a time. Okay, so sorry if this video has been long-winded. Honestly, you guys, I get so excited sharing about the good and the beautiful, because it truly has changed our homeschool entirely. I know prior to finding the good and the beautiful, we were having a really rough patch with homeschooling, and it honestly was just that we weren't having that spark of joy each day. And I know if you are a seasoned homeschooler, not every day is going to spark joy, or even, you know, your child's not going to take a huge interest in learning. But this was becoming such a thing with my child, and I was seeing all these other families, like, you know, enjoying homeschooling, and I was like, what are we doing wrong? And then I figured it out. And it was that we just weren't using a curriculum that was best fitting her or best suiting her. So when I found the good and the beautiful, I couldn't help but share it with my followers, because it truly has changed our homeschool in so many ways. So again, sorry for the length of this video, but I hope y'all found it helpful. And any questions y'all have, if there's anything I may have missed, because the mom brain is real, and twin babies, they're still keeping me up a lot at night. I may have missed something. So if I did, please leave in the comments if y'all have any questions. I try my hardest to get back to y'all and just give y'all the feedback. And then I will continue to share. If you're not following me over on Instagram, I share a lot of our day in the life and just, you know, homeschool things in my stories. So I will put my handle up here so you guys can check it out if you haven't already followed me there. And then I'm gonna put the link in the description of this video for this history. And as I mentioned at the beginning, I am partnering with the Good and the Beautiful for this video. So thank you to them for allowing me the opportunity to share this with y'all. And if you do decide to purchase, I will have that affiliate link in my description of this video, and that just really helps the Good and the Beautiful know that I sent you, so that it gives me the opportunity to continue partnering with them. So you know, if you don't, it's not a big deal, you know, if you don't purchase from the link, but it is very helpful for my little old channel if you do click that link. And that concludes today's video. Again, if y'all have questions, definitely don't hesitate to reach out, and I look forward to seeing y'all in the next video. Thanks for watching, y'all. Bye-bye.